welcome to the Serene 15 here at the IMCA podcast studio. Well, we're gonna talk about 15. Things that are calm, peaceful, untroubled, tranquil, and talk about why corn sex creates humidity in Iowa. Yes,
corn what?
Corn sex.
Corn sex
creates humidity in Iowa.
We are off the rails already.
Yeah, you refused to tell me what you were going to call today's episode.
I thought this was going to be the mean 15.
Serene. It's going to be calm.
I like mean. Let's vote on it.
Yeah, I mean, mean fits our personalities much more than.
All right, you sons of, you know what?
Serene.
Let's get mean here. It's the mean 50.
Serene.
Yes, I wanted to use that voice because it worked 60% of the time, every time. Oh, what a week it was! What did we do? There's a lot of stuff happened.
We saluted veterans all week, Jerry.
Yes, we did.
We did. And rain. Saluted some rain.
Yeah, we saluted some rain.
At least in this area.
We had to salute
some 100-degree temperatures.
And some 100, yeah, and some all kinds of stuff happened.
I can't believe you guys ate all my scotcheroos.
I can't believe you left them there and expected us not to eat them. I mean,
well, I was late.
Well, yeah, I can't help it that you had to go get your pipes cleaned.
I had a plumber at my house. Come on now. There's a few things. I like to work on stuff. I'm handy. Ryan knows.
If there's a project that can get done, Brett would prefer to do it himself.
I would prefer to do it myself.
I tend to.
My wife thinks I'm a tightwad. I just think I'm handy, right? And so, but one thing I don't do, I don't mess with water. I don't mess with power, electricity, and generally I don't mess with gas, like natural gas, LP. I have LP at my house. So if any of those three items need worked on, I hire a professional.
Yeah,
because I don't want to flood my house, burn my house down or blow my house up, right?
I mean, you
Those are all
could.
bad things.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want to work on electricity and water at the same time.
So we had the podcast scheduled, and no kidding, like when I came to work this morning, the plumbing guy said, "Hey, we're going to be there in 30 minutes." I'm like, "All right, I'll run home real quick, and then I'll get back here," because my wife was not home this morning. She works from home. She wasn't home this morning, so I'm like,
she's on vacation.
She had the day off, so she left the house.
Yeah. I got home late last night, so I was kind of tired this morning. Not really late. I mean, you probably did you even sleep last night?
I got a couple hours.
What time did you get done last night?
It was early. It was like 10 o'clock.
It was like 10.
9:45.
A little bit, and I think it was about 12:30 when I laid down.
I left Boone at like 9:45, I think.
Oh, you went over last night?
I went over last night. I took some stuff. I'm starting my Super Nationals trips. I probably take, 10 or 12 trips
at least
to Boone?
Yeah.
In the month of August.
Mm-hmm. And Jim had some things he had to bring over too. Didn't Jim bring you some things?
Jim, yeah, I mean, Jim bought.
Or was it just like an excuse for Jim to get out of the house? And
no.
Come to Boone?
Jim probably brought bread, lunch meat,
yes.
condiments for a sandwich.
Yeah.
So last night, like on the way home, I was gonna stop at Boone at the Casey's, but I couldn't because I was gonna eat Casey's, and I'm gonna eat the track. And we have these decisions, we go to races. And then afterwards, I'm just going to grab Casey's on the way out. But I have my trailer with me, so Casey's and Boone is not really very accommodating to having a trailer in a truck.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I've been in there with a trailer. There's race cars, there's haulers in there all the time.
You got to park out on the...
No, they come in and get gas and everything.
I've done that, but I didn't need gas. I just wanted to get a piece of pizza.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to drive home. I got about...
2 miles.
I got about the Ames, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm kind of hungry. I hadn't ate all day. So I stopped at State Center and got 2 pieces of Casey's pizza, which had been sitting there for a while, but I still ate them.
Sometimes that's the best, when it sits there the longer and the longer.
They were good.
Yeah.
I've never had bad Casey's pizza. They were good, but then I bought these, I'm getting ready to check out. I'm like, what are those things? They call them peanut butter crispy bites, but they look more like to me, they like a scotcheroo.
Yeah, that's
Snickerdoodle.
Yeah, it's not
no,
snickerdoodle. It's like a cinnamon cookie. But.
Jeez.
And I brought them in today because I didn't have any last night, and I brought them and set them on here, and I come back and they're almost gone. You guys are eating them all.
Well, I mean, we were waiting for you.
Yeah.
What else were we going to do?
We don't want you to be too sweet for the mean Serene 15.
It's going to be all mean.
Mountain
mean
Dew and my scotcheroo for breakfast. Probably going to get diabetes someday.
It's got Mountain Dew and scotcheroo.
It's a good balanced diet.
Friggin' poet, and he didn't even know it.
It's like 3 food groups right there.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Let's talk about...
Sandwiches!
No sandwich talk.
Jim told me, this is no kidding. He worked at Spencer, and he goes, and I go, what now? I've had 15 people come up to me today and want to talk sandwiches. And I said, well, at least you're known for something, the sandwich king.
We want Jim to get the reputation of like a police officer, right? When he goes into Subway, somebody just buys it for him.
Buys him.
Jim's here.
Ooh, Jim's here. Let's
Jim's
pay
here.
it forward.
Get the IMCA shirt on. Get him a sub.
Yeah, let's buy him a sub.
Jim goes to pay like
Now, so we're coming home. Where
were
were we coming home? Oh, so we were coming back from Spencer. I think it was Spencer. Or was it Algona, Jim? What day did you get home at 6 in the morning? That would have been Algona. So I literally get laid down and I'm just kind of nosed off there. And all of a sudden, ding. And I'm like, who the frick is texting at 5 in the morning? Look up. And it is literally a picture of Ding Dong with a Subway sandwich he just bought in Sioux City at 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning.
That's right.
Which one was open, Jim? The one at
Loves. The one
at the Loves?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Now, did you get the breakfast sandwich or did you get a
Oh,
regular?
no.
He is so pissed you're talking about sandwiches, Rick.
He is.
You can just tell he is not happy with this
We're
conversation.
not supposed to talk about this.
We're not going to talk about sandwiches. We're going to talk about other people calling other people
What are we
bad
going to
names
talk
for
about?
heat cancellations.
My agenda for this podcast has nothing.
That'd be
we
like normal.
discussed that, and we
That's
didn't really
it.
have a lot either.
So we done.
Well, we got some races coming up.
Yeah, we got this. We got Speed Weeks coming up, starting at Spencer on Monday, and then we're going to the Harris Clash, back to the Buena
Deer Creek.
Vista. It's Buena Vista, not Buena Vista.
Buena.
In Alta.
Alta. It's
The bear,
Alta.
the beaver.
Yeah, it's Alta,
it's
Iowa.
say that again. It's
Alta.
Buena Vista.
Buena.
Buena.
Yeah. It's not the Spanish pronunciation.
Buena Vista.
Which
I
a
say
person
Buena
would
Vista
think-
right, but I still think it's an Alta.
No,
It is an
you
Alta.
just said it right. You said Alta.
You said Alta.
He did.
Oh,
For the
damn
first
it, I was
time
trying
in
to-
your
I was
life,
trying to
you
say
did it
wrong.
right. Woohoo! Buy that man a $5 sandwich.
Maybe we should buy him some more
ULTA.
peanut butter squares.
Give him some Mountain Dew.
If I'd have ate those last night, I probably wouldn't have gone to sleep. I got home about midnight. But anyhow,
Well, then after Alta, we go to Algona,
And
That's not Algona.
Olgona.
Algona,
ULGONA. Olgona.
Algona.
Algona.
And then 2 nights at the beautiful Hancock County Speedway
Yes.
for the
Britt.
night of,
Not Brett.
Britt.
It's in Brit.
not Britt.
Yeah, because it's an I, not an E, ding dong.
Yeah, but sometimes you can pronounce I's differently. It's a vowel.
And you guys think I'm dumb.
I'm half asleep,
You know
so
the
I'm not-
beauty of every one of those races, every single one of them, every single lap, you can watch on IMCA TV,
IMCA TV.
Imka.
IMCA
Yep.
TV.
I love it when people say
So
that.
you're saying
America
you-
comes to race.
So you're
Imka.
saying if you when you get home
There's
from
the
work
list.
next week, you can just watch racing every night.
Yes, you could.
Every damn night.
Every night. I'll be at one of them. I'll start your
be at-
weekend out perfect, and then from there,
All downhill
It'll-
after,
yeah,
after they listen to you.
Yeah. Or hang on, it goes nowhere but up from there.
See, I got the
did
shot
go-
clock hung
I
up
did
there?
saw
It
you
is,
got the
it's
shot
nice.
clock hung
The
up.
shot clock is on the wall, but is that the time or are we counting
That's
down?
the time.
No, that's why it says AM and then 9:58
I'm
and
gonna learn how
31
to program
seconds.
that.
So when he opened this, it was exactly 9:50 and 0 seconds. It was precisely.
Really? So we've been talking for 8 minutes and 37 seconds about nothing.
No, we talked about sandwich, corn sacks, humidity,
Casey's food.
Casey's food.
Scotcheroos.
Yeah. And Jim still does not think it's
Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodles.
Snickerdoodle.
It's a
That's a
friggin'
cookie.
cookie.
It's a
It's not a
cinnamon cookie.
scotcheroo.
Yeah, it's a cinnamon
There's
cookie.
no cinnamon in a scotcheroo.
No.
Correct.
Oh, hey, I do want to, of course, we do. I saw Ryan's mom this morning. Condolences to Ryan and passing of his
Yes.
grandma.
Yeah.
last
Thank you
week.
very much.
So,
I
All of
appreciate
us,
that.
for sure.
yes.
I will say I held it together very well yesterday, honestly, until I got to the cemetery and I saw everybody from the office. That really hit home. So I appreciate that everybody made the effort to come to the funeral yesterday.
Yeah, it's the least we could do, Ryan.
Appreciate it.
I told you yesterday, my grandparents are buried just literally 50 feet direction north
Right.
from your grandparents. So, yeah, it's sad. Funerals are, we always, you reflect, obviously if it's not somebody that's immediate family for your own, whatever the circumstances are, sudden or not, it's just, it makes you reflect and it makes sadness.
Very much so.
And the worst thing about funerals, you go to theirs and they never come to yours.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true.
Do make a valid
Kind of a
point.
one-way street.
And you're faced with it a lot more the older you get, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, happier things. Let's talk about
Sad
it.
I had to pull some double duty on Saturday. I had to do the salute to veterans. Then I had to go get accept the award for my dad getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
You had a busy
And
Saturday.
then came back and got rained
that
out.
picture's the best.
That
Did we-
picture's the
did we
best.
give it to Nate?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
I can't believe they let you into Hamilton County Speedway with an IMCA shirt on.
I don't think they knew.
You classed to join up a little bit.
You snuck
Jerry.
in, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did. I told him, I said, I'm coming screaming in there because I got to get back to work.
It's like Lottie at Vegas. He sneaks in the gate with his
Sneaks in the, follow me, bud. I know how to get in here, bud.
Every racetrack has an open gate.
That's Lottie's theory, just for the record.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation with. Yeah, every racetrack has an open gate.
It does.
Just got to find
You
it.
just got to find it.
I don't know. They were telling me. I just come down the hill and in,
How much,
across
how
the
much did you
stage.
pay?
What's that?
How much did you pay last night, Brett?
To get in,
Yeah.
that'd be $0.
Okay. Found an open gate.
I found an open gate.
Did they make you pay, Jim?
Found an open
You
gate.
found
He
it.
was with me.
Oh.
I had the key to open the gate.
smuggled
for both of
You
them.
opened the gate for him.
Smuggled him in.
Hey, guys, I got the key. Get over here.
Well, congratulations to you, obviously, for the Hall of Fame induction to your father.
Did you have that picture,
where's-
Nate?
Where's the picture?
Did you not send it to Nate?
No, I probably didn't.
Oh.
The only picture I sent to Nate of you was with those yellow shorts on that time.
Oh, here, Nate. I'll see if I can find it here. It
You
was-
weren't wearing your yellow shorts Saturday, were
No, it clashed after you guys all made fun of me.
Everything clashes with your yellow shorts. You don't own a shirt that matches your yellow
Yeah, I
shorts.
do.
I had breakfast yesterday with Tommy Fain. I think that's.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was pretty
He was
nice.
I
of
had
him.
breakfast with
He's
Tommy
never
Fain.
been to Vinton, which I had thought for some reason he's been up to Super Nationals a few times. For some reason, I thought he'd been over here, but he hadn't. You know, he was in racing. He raced here Sunday night in town, and then he was in town
He's
yesterday.
sticking around
still.
all week, isn't he?
Yeah, he's sticking around. He went. He was. I think he said he got here last Thursday. Went to Algona, and did you
in
go to
Marshalltown,
Marshalltown and Boone,
Yeah,
and then
Marshalltown
Vinton.
Boone. He was in Marshalltown twice this week. He decided he didn't have enough fun Friday night.
And then he's going to go to. He's going to go to. I think he said he was going to go to the Wall Rod in
Stuart.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Do it on a
Yeah.
Wednesday
All
night.
right.
On Wednesday, go over there and race.
You
and
know,
then
you could
hang
go to
around for Boone and
Jackson,
go back.
Minnesota tonight, Tuesday.
Fan
I don't-
Appreciation Night.
Yeah, $1 admission.
It's a long ways from Abilene, Texas, to Vinton, Iowa. I've made that drive. It's a long. Have you ever rode with? You've never went to the Icebreaker or the Southern
I
Challenge.
think the
with me,
farthest
have
I've gone with you anywhere was like, not to make a joke, Alta. I think that was.
Grant went down with me one year to the Southern Challenge. He rode with, for the heck of it. One time, he just wanted to go to the races. He rode with me and my wife.
Last year I had to drive it in the van.
It's a long drive.
It is, yeah, it's
long,
yeah,
long,
it's-
even longer pulling a race car, or a big old hauler like that. But it was, it was
Well,
nice.
we start out a busy week next week with, Stewart on Wednesday. And then we've got, Jerry's got a race named after him up at Britt Friday night.
I do.
I think it's Hobo Days.
Oh yeah, it is Hobo Days up there. Yeah, I get some mulligan stew and the Hobo Days.
Jerry's going to ride the rails up to Britt for Hobo Days.
There's really no rails to ride anymore, Jim. I mean, you can't jump on a train and go anywhere.
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, you could, but I mean, to get from Britt
Okay.
from Des Moines is going to be a little tough because I don't know that
that's
there's a
not true.
train line that goes there.
Have you done
Might
the
have to get a
Hobo Day
connection.
celebration before?
Yeah, I've been to the Hobo Days
been.
before.
That's a pretty good time.
It's actually a good time.
I
Town
think
gets
they're
all
paying
people get dressed up and
$1,000 to win each class, I believe. But might want to check it at Hancock County Speedway Facebook page. But I'm just throwing numbers out. Whatever I say, Trent will have to do. So,
ooh, well,
Been there, haven't
it's,
you,
it's
Jerry?
nice to have a
yeah, I've been there, done that.
yeah. I don't believe everything you read on Facebook.
No, you don't believe nothing of what you see. It's fine.
There's
Oh.
a picture.
Hey, look at that picture.
Now they put those up in the grandstand.
Yeah, let's go on the
don't they?
grandstand so you see him every time.
They spelled his name right, too,
I know.
which
I
is no
can't
small
believe it.
task.
There's it is a very hard task to do that. But if anything, my dad was a big supporter of IMC racing. I mean, that's what I grew up on. That's what he has millions of hours of footage of over the years. So
Wait a second. Your name's spelled E-L?
yeah,
Oops.
You've been spelling it wrong this whole time, or what?
I might change that in my
Did you
phone.
make sure? Is the S capitalized too?
No, because I think it's spelled D-U-M-B
I have it.
space. The A's not bit capital.
I have it 2 words, V-A-N.
No, it's not 2 words.
All one word, all
Space,
lowercase.
capital S-I-C-K-L-E.
Well, you got that all messed up.
Sickle like
Why
pickle.
don't you just put a freaking Y in there, too? Because I've seen it spelled that way,
Then it
too.
would be sickly.
We can do that. I'm sickly
It's
most
sickle
of the
like
time.
pickle. Except it's not spelled like pickle. No.
No, it's not.
Then
pickle.
US 36 has a special coming up on Friday.
That's a memorial
John
race
Buller
also,
down
isn't
there.
it?
Yeah. They're going
And I
to...
think
They didn't... I mean, is it like going to be reference to cats or something?
yeah. Well, I think I think they're getting ready to announce the purse,
Ooh, yeah.
and I think the stock cars, I believe, are up to 2,062. Now then it says plus 200, so it'd be 2,262 to win.
I think that always ends with a 62, doesn't it? In the
Yes.
the Chris
Yeah.
Memorial.
Yep.
And it pays back very good. Yeah, 2262 to win. Hobby stocks are going to pay 462, so it'll be a good night there at the US 36 Speedway. What is that? The Chris Memorial?
Yep.
That'll be a good
Nice
show.
little place. I enjoy that place.
Speaking of US 36, I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a second, Jerry.
Hang on a minute.
Uh-oh,
Did you want to
here we
borrow
go.
mine?
Cat got your tongue?
Yeah.
I probably heard one of the most disgusting, classless things I've heard in a long time. It's on Facebook. You can see it, where Electric City Speedway, not the good Electric City up in Montana, but the shitty Electric City down in where Butler, they come on there on their broadcast, or somebody taped it during the night, and bash US 36, call them pussies for racing when it's 103 degrees. Now, this is the track
For not
that
racing,
the
you
week
mean.
before had 33 cars in 6 classes. And they're saying how because US 36 didn't race, it bumped their car count up to like 43. But they did say the heat was hurting the crowd. I got a question. How many people do you think are in the crowd to watch 33 cars on a weekly show? More cars or people?
Probably more
Panel?
cars. Probably more cars.
Probably more car.
It's one of those events where you instead of driver introductions, you do fan introductions because it's
Yeah.
faster.
Quicker.
Probably.
Pass the microphone, have the fans introduce themselves to the driver. I just don't understand.
I'm Jim from Omaha.
Yeah.
I came here
I don't
because the heat was better down here.
I don't understand how you have any room to say anything about any track when you're knocking it out of the ballpark like they are weekly down there. It just baffles me.
It was just one of those weekends where it was weird.
It was awful.
Because, I don't care if it was them or if it's just, common sense. I'm mad because I got to see heat races, a B main, and a Mod Light feature, but you should give me I should get in free next week, and I should get a discount on the broadcast, and I should get this, and I. At the end of the day, some days it's not about you. The rain out policy is if the heat races are in, your ticket is not good for a rain out.
The same people that are complaining about
Yeah.
Boone, with that rain are the same people that would have been pissed off if they would have canceled because of the weather.
I
can't
believe you guys canceled because you thought it was going to rain, and then it didn't rain, and man, you screwed this.
But they're the
It's just
same
common.
people who
It's just-
get pissed off if they don't cancel
Right.
and it rains because they know it was going to rain. Why'd they
Right.
race?
Yeah. There's no.
But you know what I really want to do? I want to go to the carnival and buy some tickets to a ride and see what happens.
At the Jones County Fair.
No refunds.
No refunds.
I sent you that picture.
I know. And then I
When I was
shared it
buying,
on.
I was buying an armband for my daughter. We went to the Jones County Fair on
So
Sunday.
you took that at the Jones County Fair and then sent it to me, and then
Yeah. Yeah,
What does it say? No refunds on
It
it?
said no refunds in the event of rain. So we had bought a wristband for Kennedy, and I was like, oh, geez, that's interesting. So I just took a picture of it. It made me smile. Because I read some of the stuff, too, that people had said on Boone Speedway's Facebook page. Once they post something, it's like,
Yeah.
But, you know, back to that. I mean, on the positive aspects of that, you know, like most racetracks have that policy that if you rain out after the qualifying events are complete, it's considered a full show, and they'll make they'll make the features up the following week. It gets into, when you look at stuff like the Salute to Vets, I mean, that's a special event essentially as well. Yeah. It's not just a normal weekly show. So you've got guys like Tommy Fain that are probably there because of that, and he can't come back the next week. So it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the racetrack. It's not good for the racer, and it's not good for the race fan in any way to have those situations happen. And racetracks try to avoid it. Boone is a good example. You know, I mean, we went through this at Super Nationals for years. You know, if anybody knows how to move events around and do things, it's Boone. They're all pretty savvy over there, you know. But when the rain is coming at 9:45 and you have X amount of races to get complete, it's a function of time. There's no way that they're going to get all of those features in, no matter what you move around, unless you start canceling races, like we did at the Super Nationals with some B mains and stuff. And Boone probably could have did that. I did that last week. I looked at the forecast about 7:30. I was like, Nate was texting me. We were like, you know, is it going to get there? Yeah, it's going to get there. You know, so what do you do? Do you just stay the course? Do you adjust events? Do you move features around? Or do you cancel things like B mains and just automatically transfer cars, get rid of some races? It is all a function of time at that point. And the racetrack is kind of screwed. Right. And everybody who's there is kind of caught in that. And so when it goes down the way it does, most tracks try to make smart decisions. And Boone has always made a smart. I thought that the decision, you know, I hated to see it rain. I thought they could have moved some events around. Canceling B mains might have been a little bit, also warranted a lot of criticism from people that didn't like that. People in those B mains, especially.
Yeah, because they didn't
without a chance to race their way.
Didn't have a chance to race. So they stayed the course, and it you know, it rained like 3 or 4 laps into the Sport Mod feature, and they're making them all up.
But see, the thing of it, and the thing that the people that, you know, are keyboard warriors don't understand is the talk in the tower, the talk on the radio. There was plans. I mean, everybody starts bailing out. I'm coming back from where I was at, and I mean, it's just a steady. I'm like, oh great, they canceled.
Are just not.
And the thing of it is, people are leaving, and the talk on the course was, we're going to hold this out because of what this event is. We're not canceling. If we can get it run, I mean,
I saw it raining, and I saw the volume of rain, and I'm like, there ain't no way it'll again, just knowing what we know from Super Nationals, and we have more equipment at Super Nationals. People don't understand that as well.
Oh, there's like 8 more tractors.
All that equipment that's at Boone for the Super Nationals is not at Boone Speedway weekly. You know, it's much different on a weekly basis. It's a much smaller scale, so they don't have the capabilities to salvage that racetrack at a certain point like we did at Super Nationals a few years ago. You know, we've just got monster tractors, you know, that can fix the racetrack.
Yeah.
And it just, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, to have a situation like that happen at any racetrack, at any event. It's just not good for everybody. But at the end of the day, most promoters are trying to make smart decisions. They're trying to make business decisions as well, you know, and people who maybe don't understand the back end of some of those decisions, they just want to see their family member race. Right. You know, they paid, you know, they're a vet, like in this situation, they came to Boone Speedway on a special occasion, you know, and so everybody's disappointed. You hate to see that stuff happen. But
I think what people don't understand also is when it's a complete show, typically it's because qualifying is complete and there's going to be a purse paid. And if you're going to pay that purse out and you're going to make that event up the next week, that's 2 purses. Oh, you know, if a lot of times when tracks rain out before qualifying is complete, then your rain checks are good for the following week. There's no purse paid for that event, but that also means those drivers that were there for that initial rain out don't get paid either.
No, I mean, they now have double the expenses.
Yeah, they have back and forth. So it's not regardless when the rain comes, it's just not a good situation. Nobody looks forward to making those calls, but sometimes your hand is forced.
At least in a situation where you get the qualifying features in and you run double features the next week. And some racetracks run all those double features the next week. Some will actually run one week and 1 2 weeks later.
There's many tracks that have curfews and stuff. They can't do it every week.
So we see a lot of varying things done as within IMCA that individual race promoters, we don't really dictate that. We don't have a rain policy, so to speak, at IMCA. We rely on the promoters have to have some freedom to run their shows, you know, and we get into this a lot. People will say shit like, oh, you know, IMCA racetracks don't pay as much, you know, as if we are telling promoters not to pay much. Yeah. Or we're telling promoters,
tell them how to run their races.
Right.
One yellow and
one to throw
we're
yellows.
telling racetracks how to make poor officiating decisions on purpose. I mean, we all make mistakes, and the human aspects of officiating, and that's a whole nother conversation. But when you get into a rain makeup or a rain situation like this, when it rains, each individual racetrack's situation, set of circumstances. Is it a weekly show? Is it special? Is it on the regular night? Is it not on the regular night? Or they have an increased
track points, no track points.
Yeah, you've just got a lot of balls in the air that the track is trying to make a lot of sense out of, and it just sucks. It sucks when it rains out like that because it just kind of it's like Debbie Downer. You know what I mean?
I think people always feel victimized when they think they don't get what they paid for at the moment that they pay for it. So everyone likes to play the role of the victim, and it's easy to take that role onto social media. Like we talked about last week, a lot of people think that because they have an opinion, I'm going to put it on Facebook because everybody wants to hear it. That isn't always the case. It's just a bad situation for everybody involved.
Sometimes it's fun to read.
It's fun to read.
Sometimes it's fun to just lay the facts out there and then listen to them sit there and be like, you can't tell. You're right. I can't tell you. I'm not in the business where Friday, all I did all day long was look at weather apps and wonder, okay, do I cancel because it might rain at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Or do I stay the course? Friday, got lucky, stayed the course.
And that was a good show Friday night.
It was a good show
You
Friday
started
night.
30 minutes late, right? Or an hour late.
No, we started, but 8 o'clock, we usually go racing at 7:30.
An hour late?
Because of the heat.
Scheduled
an hour late.
We didn't, I didn't advertise that we were starting at 7, and then the day of the event,
Right.
it
was
started
well
at
announced
7:30.
in advance. But you were done by 10:15. I mean, that was a good show, and it was done in just a couple hours.
But it was all day. I mean, it was okay. So if I
was trying to compliment you, Jerry.
Well, I
I
appreciate
think that's
it.
lost. I mean,
No,
that doesn't
I do
happen very
appreciate it.
often. I thought maybe.
But that's what I'm saying. No, and I appreciate that because I felt we did.
Right.
We were standing there at 7:30 when hot laps were starting, and I'm looking at my phone, and you just looked at me and said, "Put it away. It's gone."
Right.
And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The rain's gone." And I'm like, "Oh wow, okay." But I still was nervous.
Right.
But you just never know as a promoter or even a business owner. I mean, if you pay $100 for an item and you sell it all day long for $50, how long are you going to be able to keep selling this item and stay open? And that's what they don't, some people like that do this all the time don't understand that it's so easy. Yeah. If it was easy, everybody would promote a racetrack.
At the end of the day, the promoter, and I've said this before behind the scenes, the promoter is the biggest race fan at the event.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
a very good way to put it.
Because they're paying more than anybody else there. At the end of the day, the promoter is paying more than anybody else there for what's going on. They've got all the insurance. They've got all the track prep. They've got all the food expense. They've got everything. All tied up into that. And if it rains out, depending on when it rains out, when it happens, a cancellation, it can be extremely troubling financially for a racetrack operator. And it's not like digging out of losing a few $1,000s is easy for some facilities to do. A good night, can a bad night can easily wipe out numerous good nights. So they have to make smart decisions. Again, this situation in Boone is not really. It's just the rain came at the wrong time. But it came at the right time.
That's the long and short of it.
It came at the wrong time, but it came at the right time.
Exactly. That's like you said.
If it's going to rain,
you made the comment. The promoter pays. Yeah. I mean, people don't understand. Just open the doors on a race night, and it, depending on what your facility is $5,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
So on an average night, I probably pay $7,000 to open the gates to be a race fan to watch car races.
Yeah, we see fans complain about gate admissions going up $2, or you see fans complain about racers or even pit crew members complain about pit passes being $5 more and some of these other kinds of things. And at the end of the day, those prices are usually a reflection of the operating expenses of the facility, including the purse. So that's why sometimes they'll go up a little bit on special events and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all economics. It's not terribly complicated. So you can go on Facebook and you can read some of this stuff, and I'll be typing and I'll type a paragraph, and I'm just like, I can't see that. I'm just gonna just delete.
Well, I commented on your post.
I write it and then
delete
delete it, and then.
Yeah.
I've just got to where I just put fake news. I just say it's fake news.
I did appreciate the fake news one, though.
I was like, fake news. I mean, it's just, we all know where it come from, and it just, to me, it's humorous to begin with. But at the same time, it's true, some of the things that are being said by people who don't know really what they're talking about in some of these situations it's very inaccurate, and it can be very damaging. It can be very damaging to race facilities. It can be damaging to people's reputations. It can be damaging to business in general. You know,
the things I like is the one that really got my goat was the guy said, screwed again by IMCA, blah, 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 this and that, and we didn't get to see a whole show, and they don't give me a refund. I'm not ever watching another IMCA TV event. And I'm like...
They hadn't even reached out yet.
And I said, my reply to it was, have you sent an email to IMCA TV to see what their policy is? And then it goes into that, and the guy goes, well, I wasn't trying. I was just asking a question.
No, you weren't.
When you say I'm getting screwed, how is that constituting a question?
There's a good situation though where those scenarios are different for race fans that are in attendance and race fans who are not in attendance.
It's two different businesses, two different platforms.
It is. The streaming aspects of it is a little bit easier because all of that stuff is managed via credit card transactions. You know what I mean? And so if you lose a feature, it's not the same for the racetrack fan or the racetrack that's there that can come back the next week. We can't just stream one race the next week. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Viewers are rain checks.
Yeah. So our position on IMCA TV has been from the onset, and Chris with Rivet, who's the platform that manages it all. Nate kind of runs the day-to-day operations, but Chris has the platform management on the back end. And he's from day one when we switched IMCA TV to what it is currently today. The policy has been, we're not gonna rip people off. We're not gonna not show races that fans pay for. We don't expect race fans to pay for something and not get their money's worth. And so in that situation, I think Chris just took I don't know what the pay-per-view cost was. I couldn't tell you, $24.99. Mm-hmm. And they did a $10 refund it was for everybody, right?
Now, Nate, was that $10 if they asked or if they didn't ask? So you automatically, before you went and spouted your mouth on Facebook, were getting a $10 back.
And all those things take a little bit of time. It's not like it's going to come instantaneously once it starts raining. It takes a little bit once the decision is made. Then they put it in their system, and they just automatically refund. Anybody who bought that night got a $10 refund. It just automatically generates it versus going in there and doing one at a time.
Yeah.
It's impossible for one person to try to manage. Maybe one race like Boone would be okay, but if you have 10 or 12 or 20 races like some of the nights that we've got with IMCA TV, if you have multiple situations like that, you have to have an army of people to be able to manage that individually. So it's very automated. They make smart decisions. They refund people. Everybody that watched Boone, they got their features rained out. You still got to watch all the qualifying. It's still 177 cars, and I don't know how many races, 27 or 31.
Something like that.
So it's not like they didn't watch racing. You know what I mean? And they know on the platform if you're watching or not, because we get people that will say, this buffered or this didn't work or I didn't watch this or I didn't watch that. Well, they know on the user accounts individually if you watched 26 of the 27 races or X amount of minutes of the show. Yeah. So it's fair to us and it's fair to them, but we're not going to, IMCA TV is not going to rip people off. It's just ain't going to happen. The people who say that stuff say all kinds of crazy crap about IMCA, in my opinion, so people have to be able to filter that. Yeah, we try to manage some of that hate and discontent a little bit, but at the end of the day, some people, no matter what I say to them or what any of IMCA employees say to them, they're going to hate us. And so why bother at that point? Yeah. That's why, Facebook can be troubling for anybody that's running a business, even racers. Look at the crap people say about individual racers. Yeah. So a guy wins a race, he's a cheater. No, he's not. Not necessarily. Yeah, some guys get caught cheating, but it's just, to me, people say a lot of stuff on social media they wouldn't say to people's faces. And if you aren't going to say to somebody's face, why are you even saying it? That's the way I look at it.
I like you, Ryan.
Jim,
I like you too, Jerry.
Jim's not on Facebook saying anything. He's just a guy. He just says it to people's faces.
Yes.
Anyway,
listen here.
There was an example last week where I think a driver might have wished he didn't say something on Facebook. But that's the other thing. You got drivers that.
Hang on, no, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you probably do, Jerry.
A driver said something you wish you wouldn't have?
Oh, yeah.
We won't go there.
Let's move away from rainouts. We've talked about this on other podcasts too, but the policy that racetracks have, generally speaking, are
once the qualifying events
sense.
are in, the show is final
Makes
for the
sense.
night. There's
Unfortunately,
no refunds.
there are situations where race fans have obviously not been treated correctly from people. It's not like there's never been a promoter that's ever skipped town without money and not having a race. It's happened. So race fans are guarded about that. But at the same time, we all know people that sneak into the pits. We were laughing about it earlier. People sneak in the pits. You're ripping the racetrack off doing that stuff.
Yep.
There's no justification for either, really, to be honest. And anybody who's involved in racing, if you're a race fan and you're at Boone Speedway, you or any racetrack, you obviously took the time to make the decision that that's how you wanted to spend your discretionary money and how you want to spend your free time. Most people don't go to the races for a living. You know what I mean? They go there for entertainment. Yep. And so, yeah, we all have bad experiences, but at the end of the day, if you're truly a race fan and you're truly supportive of dirt track racing, your local facility, a local racer, or anything like that, shine a positive light on it a little bit. Quit saying all the negative crap all the time.
I mean, take Jim for example. Jim is a shining glow of hope for why bad things can happen.
I
to
call
you.
bullshit.
No, this is not. This is a straight
he's
and friggin'
making
narrow.
sense. Let him go.
No,
this
he's
is where Jim had two bad experiences, and he could have went to Facebook and he could have whatever, but nope. He gave him a third chance.
You're talking about his sandwich shop.
And they were open that night, and they had Capicola. Yep, and he went back.
They did have Capicola, too.
And he was happy. He was happy. He didn't tell anybody he was mad, and he didn't tell anybody he was happy, but he just stayed the course. He said, I know.
Not everything has to be posted to social media?
So-
really?
Hang on a minute.
So if you go to a restaurant, this is always interesting to me because I think we're all different. If you go to a restaurant and you get bad food, do you complain? Do you say anything?
No.
Depending on what it is.
Depending on how severe. Typically,
I usually just won't go there again.
If you
Or I won't go there
right,
again,
so if you order food and it comes cold, it's supposed to be hot and it comes cold. You're like,
I
do
might
you say
something about that. I mean,
do you send your food back?
Ooh, no, don't ever send the spoon back. You never know what's going to happen.
you know what's going to happen.
If
I don't think I
if
ever
you watch
have.
that movie Waiting, hell, he wants some Parmesan.
I don't think I've ever sent. I don't think I've ever sent food back. And now I know I will never send food back.
But no, I mean, I guess I'm different because I worked 27 years in the car business where you got your tail chewed off if you got a smudge on somebody's car or this didn't happen. And then all of a sudden your business is relayed on this friggin' survey.
Yelp.
If you don't make this survey, the manufacturer is going to come down on you. Your boss is going to come down on you. And because you didn't feel that you were treated fairly, because maybe when you came into the dealership or the business, you were a friggin' prick to start with.
We want to know why you gave us a 3 instead of a 5.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yes. Hey, we're calling today from OU812 Motors.
Is this the Serene
But at the
15?
same-
Yes, this is the Serene. And we were wondering.
But at the same time, that's how they make improvements. So the surveys do serve a point.
It is, but it is also the customer now knows it is a way to crucify somebody.
About those things.
Constructive criticism is a lot different than just putting somebody on blast.
Oh,
It is.
and that's what those surveys are anymore. It's full blast. It's just stupid.
They ask too many questions. I just think you should just.
Yes, no. Those are the two friggin'
What
answers.
I don't like about them,
Not
it's
a scale of 1 to 10.
The surveys are kind of traps because you answer the one question that they ask you, and then boom, it triggers you 20 more. I'm like, I ain't got time for all that stuff. But I just want to say, hey, I was happy with everything.
Let's open this up to surveys on Jerry's performance.
See you later. See you until next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone likes Jerry.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyhow.
they should be yes and no questions. Were you happy with the way you were treated? Yes. Not what level were you treated? Was it a 10?
Does
Was it
Jerry
a 2?
talk too much on the podcast? Yes or
Yes.
no?
I want to go back to what you brought up, the restaurant thing. Why did you want to
Yeah.
know if you sent? Were you going to go somewhere with that?
Well, to me, it kind of mirrors any situation where you're not happy with something, and to me, that's just a real one that probably we've all somewhat experienced. And I know people that seem to every time they go to a restaurant find something wrong. they just complain about everything all the time. You know,
and
it's
have
like,
a meltdown.
and
Right
it's
there.
like, oh my gosh, there ain't enough alcohol in my drink.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Service was terrible.
If you feel that way, why are you here? If you feel that way, why don't you just make your own drink and sit in your basement and stay home? You know what I mean?
I've said that to people, to racers who have called to complain about the way they were treated or something that happened to them over the weekend, and they'll say, well, it's been an ongoing thing. It's been this way all year.
Have you said anything?
And I'll
to
tell
anybody?
them, I say, have you talked to the promoter? Have you talked to the official you have a problem with? And if you have, I said, I don't want you to stay home from racing, but it's like any other business. Why do you go back? If you feel like you were treated that poorly, can you go somewhere else to race? Well, no. Every place else is 2 or 3 hours from home. Well, I get that, but there comes a point, why would you subject yourself? You were talking about spending money, spending free time, doing this stuff. Why would you want to go back to some place that you just don't feel appreciated, respected, or worthy of it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Ryan
don't
is our
understand.
complaint department here, generally speaking. He gets the
Well,
bulk. Jim gets some of those. Dave gets some of them. I get some of them. But when I get those, and I've dealt with lots of those too, it's just racers unhappy about calls on the track and unhappy with just lots of things. I always ask, are you having fun? Are you having fun racing? Do you enjoy it? Because at times people sound like they aren't having very much fun. And if you're not having fun doing it, why are you doing it? That's the way I look at it. Yeah. We want people to race. We want people to race, but in order for people
to have fun,
in order for people to race, generally speaking, they have to have fun.
If you're not having fun, you're not having fun on the track.
Nobody
Other
wants
people
to do
are.
anything
I mean,
all the time, repeatedly. It's like getting beat up. I mean, who wants to get beat up all the time? Nobody.
I had to deal with that situation.
Fun to win a
Friday
fight every
with,
once in a while.
With a concession worker. I'm in the infield, and all of a sudden it's like, oh boy. Go over to the concession
that's when
stand.
you ran.
That's when
I wondered.
That's when I went, because they're like,
okay,
hey, we need you over here right now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? Did somebody get burnt? Did somebody this? What happened? I get over there, and apparently 2 of them get in a little argument.
2 of your workers did?
Yeah, and I just went to the one. After I hear the one side of the story and go to the other side, and I go, hey, everything okay? Well, I'm not gonna be. I didn't ask. I go, are you okay? Do you enjoy coming here to work? Yeah. If you enjoy it, I want you to work here. But if you don't, I'm okay. Go do something you want to do.
That's
and
why.
she looked at me. She looked at me and she goes,
Yep.
"Are you? Well, I want to work here. Do you want to work here because you like it? Yeah. Do you have fun? Okay. Well, just take the night off. Come back next Friday.
We all have those moments.
But it's just like it's. If you don't like it, and it makes you miserable. Why do you do it?
I think some people honestly thrive in negativity. They thrive in
Debbie
not
Downers.
being happy.
That's
they don't know how to function when life is going
on
well.
Saturday Night Live.
Debbie Downer.
I love that one. Could you make that face? It's just hilarious. They're trying to say stuff positive, and she just boom hammers a negative. And he moves to something else, and boom hammers a negative. And I mean, why be like that?
I like the one with the 2 ladies that they have the call-in show and they talk about cooking. Sweaty.
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Tell us more
The
about
Schweddies. It's
Tell
the
us more
Schweddies.
about
Peach
your
Schweddy.
balls, Ryan.
Isn't it the Schweddy family or something like that?
Schweddy
Yeah,
family
it was
recipe.
a Schweddy family recipe.
It was Alec Baldwin, wasn't it?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
That was old.
Then
That's what Saturday Night
Betty
Live
White
good.
was on
Exactly.
there too.
Well,
She
yeah,
came
yeah.
back with her. What was her muffin? It was her
Muffin, yeah, it was Betty's muffin.
Betty White's muffin.
Yes, sometimes they're moist, but after a while it can dry out.
How do you remember this stuff?
During the month of July, corn sex is what creates humidity in Iowa.
No, not on the corn sexy man.
Corn sex.
You ask a farmer, they'll tell you.
About corn sex?
Yeah, when it's pollinating the
Well,
old.
there are no
So what's
farmers here,
happening
so-
is the
I thought corn sex is what
gonna
people do during ragbri.
that is happening this week. That is
That's why
happening.
I say that, because
I know.
ragbri's going on.
Yeah, there's.
I've heard weird things about
Oh,
ragbri.
there's some
I've
weird
never
things
been on
happening.
ragbri.
It's
Don't
fun.
ever plan on
I hate
going.
it after missing.
So you've had corn sex on ragbri?
No,
I
I
think
don't. I don't have any kind. What are you talking
Supernationals,
about?
corn
I
sex.
should have taken that 3rd day of bereavement I had coming to me. I could have avoided this altogether.
But no, I mean
Corn
when
sex.
when the corn starts to tassel and then the pollination falls on the ears of corn, and that's how corn grows.
Speaking of that,
it pollinates and matures.
How many days of the cornhole tournament are we having this year?
Yeah,
2,
2,
3.
I don't know. I'm not sure. You know,
we haven't started registration for that. Are we doing it the same way as we did before?
It's funny you guys bringing that up because you know I reach out to Brett Greer who does it. He's from Sioux City, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he is.
Sioux City. He's the guy who's done the tournament the last couple of years, and we did one the first year, and then we did two
last year. I think we had 48 people one day and 32 the other.
I think we should do 10 days of cornhole.
We could do them every day, but they couldn't be that big. I don't know. I don't know if we need to.
I would say no.
They can just show up.
Just show up and
throw.
let Brett deal with it.
But we'll figure it out. You know, I think he was talking about maybe doing 3 tournaments this year, like Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. But it really depends, again, what we got going on each day, when we start racing, if we're hot lapping that day, all those kinds of things. So we do it on the exit ramp of the racetrack.
Yeah.
It's really about the only place you could host something like that, unless you want to move it out.
It's a good location for everybody to.
I think it'd be kind of fun to do it during the races.
Over the cars?
Down in the same spot?
Same spot, just during the races.
It'd be like, car, game on.
Game on.
But yes, we are having a cornhole tournament. At least one that I know of. Maybe
last
two,
year
maybe
was Monday
3.
and Friday, if I remember correctly.
Sunday, Friday.
What else are we doing at this year?
Because he has a real job. Brett does something else. He was when I texted him the other day.
He's like a real feller.
He was in Florida.
What?
He said. So yeah, I don't know what he does for. It was work. He was working. I think he's.
We'll ask him.
I think we're racing, Jim. Is that what we're doing at Boone?
Hey,
we have other
I got
activities?
one question, Brett. What are we paying to win?
I don't know. Why you got to ask me
The
that?
cornhole tournament?
The cornhole tournament or the modified feature?
You know how many people have asked me if we're paying $40,000 to win the modified?
I can't imagine why. Probably almost as many people
Yeah,
asked Jim about his sandwiches.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim.
No, I think the 40,000.
Hey, Jim, I've got this real good thing I like about sandwiches. Can we talk about the sandwiches today?
What the hell is going on with you today?
I don't know. It's Tuesday.
It's the water. No, it's the Scotcheroo he stole.
I didn't steal it. It was left there for eating.
I think we each had 2 or 3.
Yeah, we each had 2. So don't just lump me into this. I stole the Scotcheroo.
Jerry's lack of sleep is catching up to him.
Wow.
Yeah, lack of sleep started in January.
I don't know what we're going to pay.
What's the minimum?
For the cornhole tournament?
No, the Super Nationals modified feature.
I'm so confused.
Because there's always like a minimum. Like because it used to be it was this much to win, and then for every start it was this
7,000 to win the
But
modified.
now, like last year was 7,000.
Right, it's been 7,000 for quite a few years now.
It
So
used
we
to
could
be-
say that's the minimum, and there could
It's 7,000 to
It's
win
7,000.
for sure.
No, yeah, there's no.
Paying at
1,000.
least 7,000 to win.
least.
That's how
At least
we'll advertise
7,000
it.
to win and 1,000 to start. Stock cars, paid 5,000 last year?
I think what we need to do first is the only fair thing to do would be put it to the vote of the drivers. I know a lot of times they vote for less money, and I think to be fair, we need to let them vote.
maybe we could alternate it.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe we could make something alternative for this year.
What's alternative?
I have no idea.
An alternative
It's a word I
purse?
heard. It's a word I heard in a late night sandwich conversation.
Oh, alternative purses, like alternative rules.
Something like that.
It's like a shell game.
Kind of like IMCA, but not
What's
really.
it going to pay? This. Nope.
Ooh, we could play shoots and ladders to see how much it pays. Like this color is this, and this color is that.
What should it pay? I mean, some people think it should pay 40,000. Some people, for years, the Super Nationals paid $2,000 to win, $350 to start.
Yep.
For years.
For like the longest time.
For a long time. $2,000 to win, $350 to start for modifieds, and we bumped it up to $1,000 to start instead of raising the $2,000 to win. At one time, it paid $2,000 to win, $1,000 to start. And then we started doing the bonus money based on weekly
starts, sanctioned starts.
Yep, sanctioned starts with a $5,000 cap on that. It was $100 to start, I think, with
For
a
the
50.
mods.
Yeah,
For the mods 50
we did the
starts,
caps
100
for every division, and it raised the purses up for every class, from sport compacts all the way up to the modifieds. And we've now removed all those weekly because of the pandemic in 2020. We removed the starts because we didn't want to lower the purse back down. So we removed the condition that it was weekly starts and just guaranteed it at $7,000. We just took that bonus money and just pushed it in and left it there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's reasonable and what's unreasonable. This is something that can always be debated.
I like it where it is. I honestly think you can't raise a purse too
The more
far.
you pay, the less you get.
And I want to
generally
see...
speaking, racers don't say that. They don't think that. When you talk to racers, they'll say, we see it all the time. People still say it. It pays more, you get more. Well, that we know that generally speaking, that is not how the industry functions. If it was that easy, everybody would be paying more. Exactly. And everybody would have more.
Everybody would have 10,000 to win.
The reality is you get the purses up there, and then people don't come, and so then the business aspects of the whole event, like we've talked about earlier, just they implode. So it just all goes away. The Super Nationals could manage and does manage very large purses across the board. I think the purse is somewhere like right at $400,000, I believe, for all the divisions for the 8 days of racing. That doesn't include the Prelude, which doesn't have a big purse either. I was at Boone last night and talking to Sarah and Josh and everybody in the tower, about getting all these details, because we published the purse in the driver's packets. We put the procedures, order of events, formats, that kind of stuff. And we've switched a few things around. We're moving our sport compacts off of Sunday night of the Prelude. We're going to run them Saturday instead.
Starting an hour early.
Yep, and we're doing that just because last year we raced it till 1:45 in the morning on Sunday.
That's not a good way to start the week. When we don't even start Super National.
The Super Nationals technically hasn't even started, and we're racing till 2 in the morning.
We're already tired.
So we want to try to avoid that this year. So we're going to move the compacts forward. To alleviate a little bit of that time on Sunday. We'll probably start racing a little earlier on Saturday. I think we raced last year at 4, and we're going to race at 3, or we raced it hot lapped at 4. We're going to hot lap at 3, I think.
Yeah, I think it's back. It's
bring it down an hour, move a division over, and hopefully that, we don't know what we're going to have for car counts. We don't know what we're going to have for mod lights, who have their championship event on Sunday. So we have a stage and some other things that eat up a little bit of time. So we're going to try to move stuff around. We're also moving the Race of Champions for the sport mods and the hobby stocks off of Saturday night, the following of the
Tuesday.
Yeah, to Tuesday.
Qualifying
the last
night
of
Monday.
qualifying. Yeah, we'll qualify them each on Monday for the ROC, and then the 12-car, 12 lap dashes for each one of those divisions will be on Tuesday night. So then we always have a guy that gets in that ROC, doesn't make the A main for that division.
Go home or stick around all week, or leave his stuff there and then leave and come back.
And again, if you go back many, many years ago and look at Super Nationals, most our hobby stocks at one point in time were very, very local.
Yes.
And,
you didn't have guys from Arizona.
So it really didn't matter. If they just went
California.
home, they didn't stay at the racetrack or have hotels or camp or any of that. Anyway, sport mods, when we added sport mods, same way initially. And we actually used to run sport mods, for those that are, remember, we used to run sport mods with modifieds in the first few years. We ran modifieds and sport mods Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we ran stock cars.
Who was the winning car owner of that?
We're not going to go there. And then we ran hobby stocks and sport mods at the beginning of the week. And when we switched, I still think this is why we see such strong stock car numbers. And I still think this is why a little bit it kind of hurt our sport mod numbers, is the gap. Is running them earlier in the week with a 3-day break, and then they were in their feature. At first with sport mods, it really didn't matter, but our record car counts for sport mods is when we had the format switched. It dipped back down once we switched the format and moved sport mods ahead and stock cars back in the week. But the sport mods have slowly climbed up. Right. But we have the issue where most of our sport mod guys, or a lot of our sport mod guys, aren't Iowa guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got guys from California and stuff like that. And I think most people plan to come to Super Nationals and stick for the duration. If they come that distance, I think they plan on sticking the duration and being there for the week and watching all the other races, even if they're not competing or didn't make the feature.
And if you're just a state or so away, you'll come back if you don't plan to stay all week and qualify.
Yeah, some guys
drive
all the way home.
America's racing vacation.
Yeah, some guys drive all the way home, 3 or 4 hours into Minnesota. I know some guys went to Minnesota, Nebraska, Kansas, go back home after Tuesday and then come back on Saturday just to race. With the fuel costs and stuff like that this year, we thought maybe we should switch that around a little bit. We don't want to. What the resistance that Lottie's had to moving those off of that night is that he doesn't think they're as special, and he's right to a certain extent. They're not our championship night at that point. They're on Tuesday night, but I think it makes more sense for the racer.
Well, we've had
at this point, given what
10,
we know.
12 cars in those races of champions. We've had them where 6 cars started them because we've lost about half the field, and it does take away from
those years
the feel of it.
Yeah, those years when we had lots of rain from 15 to 20. We had seemed to have
people just said
every year we had 1 or 2 guys that didn't come back for the ROCs. So we hope to avoid that. Winning a track championship, and you have to be a current point leader. No second places, no thirds. We aren't doing that anymore. It's just first place track point leaders, former ROC winners, former Super Nationals champions, former national champions are all eligible. So, we'll have enough cars and
be pre-registered. That way we can get you on the list.
It's very helpful. Yes, pre-registering for the Super Nationals is extremely helpful. We're going to start doing. I don't know, we haven't started doing it yet. Do you know when Byron's going to start doing the Boonbound stuff, Nate? Has he told you?
I've got 535 so far pre-registered.
Yeah, we got 535, and
because I know your buddy Jimmy's waiting for it. Jimmy Gusson's waiting for the Boonbound pictures.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I know. I've seen. I
don't think he's registered. So
Byron has the Byron has the template done. He's got the template done.
It's a great one. He had the template, and then he had what everything is in it, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it shows a little history. The template does for those that with the 40th anniversary. XL.
V.
Extra large, please. Anyhow,
it's quarter to 11.
We got 5 more minutes, and what have we really talked about?
I think it's been all right.
Absolutely nothing.
I think it's been good. I think
Jerry's thoughts on corn sex
today.
But most of
they sprinkle pollen.
The pollen sprinkles and the honeybees come and they take the nectar
with
from
this
the flowers.
creepy goddamn voice.
Welcome to National.
I like how you're pretending you can go deep.
Serene.
That will never happen.
Serene.
I met your voice.
That's probably the only.
You guys keep talking like this, and we're gonna have girls jumping on trampolines in the next episode. So let's just be careful.
That's right.
Oh yes.
I better practice my Mickey Mouse voice because we don't need that.
One thing coming up at Stewart Wednesday, they're voting to get into who gets into the Stewart Raceway Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
I'm going to start right now our write-in campaign for Josh Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds.
Yes.
We did talk about
Josh in the Stewart Hall of Fame.
We did talk
He's
about
been
this
there for
last
like
night.
forever.
He has. He has. But the automatic one is Everett Sather.
Yeah, which is
and I think
well deserved.
I think it's very important to mention that. Everett, a lot of people don't know Everett. Everett has always been behind the scenes kind of guy for the most part in his involvement at a lot of the facilities, especially Boone.
Oh, yeah.
Everett was a co-owner of Boone Speedway for many, many, many years, and owner of Stewart Speedway for many, many, many years. And I read it on the Facebook page, and I don't know if Mike posted it. Somebody from Stewart posted it, I think.
Probably Josh.
It's very accurate. It could have been Josh. It's very accurate. Where would Stewart be without Everett? That would be a very big what if.
There's 2 racetracks. Where would Stewart be? Because Everett bought it when it was closed.
Right.
And Boone was in the act of closing when Everett Sather bought the Boone Speedway back in the early 80s.
Correct. Where would both those facilities be? Boone is a little bit more, from our standpoint, people recognize Boone more than Stewart. Not that means anything bad about Stewart, but Stewart's a great facility, and Mike does a fantastic job there. But Everett was very instrumental at both of those facilities. And, again, we've been talking about Super Nationals, Boone, it would not be where more than likely not be where it is today without Everett's efforts.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Lottie.
There's a lot of things that probably wouldn't be where they're at today if it wasn't for Everett.
You're not going to meet a bigger supporter of racing, really, to be quite honest, than Everett. I mean, he has been in every aspect, from his family racing, his son, his grandkids, all competing in racing, still do, some of them. Some of them are in businesses in racing. Everett has been instrumental in all of that, and so from our standpoint in the central Iowa racing scene, you can't, it'd be hard to think of somebody, at least in our ranks, that is more deserving than Everett to be recognized
in any kind
like
of
this.
Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people want to focus on the racers, and the racers are very important as well. But, some of the people that aren't turning laps themselves are very, very, very instrumental to the sport's survival, to be quite honest.
Everett kept the racers in parts for a long time with JRs.
JR Motorsports.
JRs and just everything. I mean, the list goes on and on. What behind the scenes Everett did for racing.
That's August 10th, and they're doing that. Are they voting?
8th, I think.
8th, I think.
August 8th. Yeah. So they're voting then.
Everett's an automatic.
It's a ballot.
First ballot guy.
For everybody else,
There's like
though,
20,
right?
25 guys, I think, on that
think
list.
Mick Trier's on it.
Mick and Tim Trier.
Tim.
Yep. Tim Trier.
So you have to vote at Stewart Speedway, right? You have Stewart International. You have to. Is it a write-in votes they're counting there?
I believe
that's what they said. I think that's what Josh said again.
It's on the Stewart Facebook page, but I don't know how they do that.
Josh isn't on the ballot, but we would surely recognize him as a write-in if we would.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to write Josh
Reynolds, REY.
Start that campaign right now.
NOLDS. Josh, JOSH.
Got to make you feel bad because he can spell Josh's name, but not yours, Jerry.
Oh, I mean,
it's sickle like pickle.
Yeah, it's not 2 freaking words either. Oh well, at least he's thinking about me.
It's time.
Oh no, we've come to the last minute of time.
We're just getting warmed up.
I'm getting sad.
I'm gonna cry now.
I was just getting into that corn sex, and now I've got to go back to my office.
Well, there is a bathroom on the way there.
Anyway.
So is this the mean 15 or the Serene?
This is the Serene mean.
We're going to have the sexy 16 next time.
Hey,
sweet son of a sweet 16.
Oh, it'd be sweet 16.
That's probably copyright.
Yeah, it's probably copyright. Yeah.
Hey, I might actually be a grandfather by the time we know.
What?
Yeah.
Boy.
She's due tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're old.
I am old. Yeah, she's due tomorrow.
Things
I'm getting kind of excited about it,
Are you?
Yeah, I am. It just seems so surreal.
Look at him. He's got like this smile. Yeah. I
mean,
it's like he's
felt. No, that's the afterglow from when he left the house earlier.
Oh yeah, when the plumber was there working on the pipes.
I wish.
He has sort of a serenity look to him.
Yeah, Jerry walked
I'm
in
excited.
this morning with.
Going to be a grandfather. I think my parents might be coming back. I'm going to do everything I can to talk my mother to.
Your mom needs to sit in that chair.
Oh boy,
I am.
We could have fun with
it. And then we're going to let them go. We're going to let them go. And see, as I'm pointing to the TV and her,
I'll have to behave.
We can talk fortune cookies.
Oh, my mom's got some great stories. I mean, I could just. She does. It would be really cool for her to come on and just talk about some of the old IMCA, older stuff.
I like the old stuff. I like the old stuff.
The history of stuff.
History.
So, very cool.
Cool.
That will be a must-see episode.
We're over
because the rest of it is pretty much crap.
Yeah. The first 15 have been junk, but listen to this one.
We should get more guests on, too. We still need to start.
We were talking about that while you were having your plumbing taken
We have scheduled guests.
Did you did you finally get indoor plumbing here? Or, is this something that your indoor plumbing finally broke?
I tried, Nate. I really did.
Anyway, with that look of scowl and howl and Jim's got to get a sandwich, we probably better wrap this one up. Nate, where's the schedule?
Hey, crab cakes today at Block 16.
Crab cake? Ooh, I'm on my way. That sounds good.
That's on my Facebook. I follow them out there.
If you're ever in Omaha and you want to eat at a really good restaurant, go to Block 16.
Block
downtown.
16.
It's fantastic. Oh, yeah. It's not expensive. It's a cool, trendy. They just got really good restaurants.
Where's it at, Jim?
Stuff.
Downtown.
It sells out. It's one of those places they have like a sandwich of the day.
Yeah, you just got to look at their Facebook
and the line
page.
goes out the door and down the block, and you hope that when you're in line that they don't run out by the time you get there because they run out of their.
Oh, so much for you!
It's that good of a place.
Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of.
Omaha's a great city.
And missed McRib Week.
McRib.
They have a pretty cool social media page too on Facebook.
Yeah.
Block 16 does.
We get McRibs at McDonald's here in Vinton.
When they have.
I got one at Quick Start the other day. Not quite the same.
Look at all that. Look at all that racing just in 3 days there.
Oh my gosh.
On IMCA TV. Look at that.
You're home for all the racing that matters.
Look at that. August 1st, there it starts, the Clay County Clash. Then we go August 2nd to the Harris Clash.
31st annual.
31 years.
The longest single day show in IMCA history is what that one is.
I think that the Harris Clash gets more cars at Deer Creek Speedway than any other event.
It has the last couple of years. I don't know if it does very well. I think IMCA guys have been really supportive.
But, once again, that's cool. I know we're getting close, awesome, but I just got to throw a quick shout out to the Queensland. They do just a hell of a job at Deer Creek. It's fun to go there.
Awesome facility. If I was going to buy a racetrack,
you'd call Cole.
That'd be one of the ones I'd like to buy.
Oh boy, here comes the rumors now.
Then we could have a 40,000 to win race there. He'd probably go for that.
Kind of be like a jamboree.
No, we could make it a futurity or a festival.
There you go. All right, let's wrap
All right,
it up.
you saw the schedule.
Serene 15.
Serene 15. You saw the schedule there. If you can't
Get ready for our Sweet 16 next.
Yes, if you can't make it out to an IMCA event near you, remember you saw the schedule. There's plenty of them out there. Maybe you missed one. Maybe you want to go back and watch one. $24.95 get you a 30-day replay pass of everything that's archived on IMCA TV. There it is, right there. Boom, bang. That's what you get for $24.99. So get her bought up. So once again,
these podcasts on that replay deal?
Oh, you can get yes, you do get the podcasts on the replay.
There's a drawback to
who in the
everything,
world
Jerry.
would want to listen to 15 episodes of you talk?
I can't remember who I was talking to. Oh, it was Jack Zimmerman. And he'd been traveling the Salute to Veterans, because he is a veteran himself that came back. And Jack's pretty. He says, I come back half the man I used to be. Lost his legs, lost parts of his arms, and he says, I got to tell you, he says, I've listened to these podcasts, going from track to track. He said, I just laughed my ass off. He says, these are great. I love them. So apparently, there's some goofy people out there.
We got a listener.
We got
we got a caller from Omaha. Go ahead, Jim. So, get out, take in some great IMC racing. Watch, get the replay pass. Do what you need to do, but support IMC racing, whether it's in your home, your garage, or right out of the racetrack. So, until our Sweet 16, go out, see some IMC racing.